Former Vice President Joe Biden is known for his outspoken opinions on President Donald Trump. He appeared on NBC's Today for the show's entirety and at one point made a startling revelation. The topic of conversation addressed whether Mr. Biden and former President Barack Obama still talk. Biden confirmed that they always speak regularly. However, he went on to say that he and Mr. Obama strategize to see what they can do to help keep Trump's agenda from happening. This was a major shock to the American people and should be alarming to everyone in government right now. Video player. 0:103. During the interview, Biden admitted to working much like a shadow government, an entity much alluded to in the past, to stop President Trump. This only furthers the idea that the left is working for private interests, not on behalf of the American people. Mr. Biden made it sound as if he and former President Obama await opportunities to intervene on one of the president's plans. The way he describes the process is even more alarming. The one example he points to is that of health care. Mr. Biden pointed out that he and the former president were engaged and involved in talking to Congress and others when they discovered that President Trump was working to fulfill his campaign promise. One could legitimately ask why another president should be elected if the previous one, along with his vice president, is going to exist in the shadows to manipulate officials to implement their will instead of the people's. Biden made it sound as though he and former President Obama halted the destruction of Obamacare. However, that isn't how the country is supposed to work. President Donald Trump was elected to act on the will of the people. The people unanimously decided that Obamacare was bad, inflicting enormous financial consequences, and they wanted no part of it. President Trump, trying to do his job, worked to end the crumbling health care system. At the same exact time, Biden and Obama were working in the background, possibly with some of the Republican opponents of President Trump, to impede his agenda. This action is not only insulting to the president, but also the millions of Americans who demanded repeal of the Affordable Care Act. Many would argue that the worst part isn't even the idea that they are doing everything they can to keep it alive. The real tragedy is that these people are trying to keep the bill alive so that they can line their own pockets. It doesn't take a political scientist to see that Biden is admitting to background puppeteering of the elected officials still in office. They do not care about the American people and instead, just want to further their own agenda by any means necessary. It is hard to say if Biden slipped up on Today when he admitted the unique relationship between himself and Mr. Obama, or if it was intentional. Regardless, there must be an oversight committee to make sure that sitting legislators are not influenced by former presidents. Joe Biden and President Obama talk frequently about stopping President Trump's agenda from affecting real change. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to my channel.